You've seen the movies, read the books, maybe even thought you had it all figured out about surviving an EMP. But here's the kicker, everything you think you know might be completely off. Imagine a single pulse wiping out not just your lights, but the hidden systems that keep society humming. Suddenly, your smart devices are useless, ATMs don't work, and the world feels eerily silent. That's the kind of scenario most people don't prepare for, and it's exactly what separates the truly ready from the rest. It's easy to think, I've got my flashlight, my pantry, I'm good, but reality bites differently. When the power goes out, the ripple effect hits way beyond your home. Banks, hospitals, communication networks, they all crumble in ways most don't even consider. And the real kicker? The chaos doesn't scream at you, it sneaks up, almost politely, until you're smack in the middle of it with zero guidance. It's like watching a slow-motion train wreck you can't get out of. Here's where most folks miss the point, survival isn't just about food or water. It's about understanding the invisible threads holding society together, and how quickly they snap. This is the moment that separates panic from preparedness, ignorance from insight. And trust me, the scenarios ahead, especially what happens at number 12, will challenge everything you thought was enough. So, buckle up, because the world you think you know is about to get a serious shakeup. An EMP doesn't just flip a switch and plunge your city into darkness, it quietly sabotages everything behind the scenes. Banks freeze, data centers crash, and suddenly your paycheck, your savings, even your ability to pay for groceries, is gone. It's the subtle chaos that hits first, the kind you can't fix with a flashlight or a generator. Preppers know this isn't theory, it's real, and it's why they drill scenarios that most people wouldn't even dream of facing. Think about GPS and cell networks vanishing in an instant. 1 second you're checking directions or messaging a friend, the next, silence. Roads get gridlocked, calls to emergency services fail, and the invisible safety net we rely on every day disappears. It's a stark reminder that modern life is a fragile web, and an EMP doesn't just cut the threads, it rewrites the entire pattern. Then there's infrastructure that most people don't even consider, water treatment, sewage, gas pipelines. When these systems falter, the problem escalates faster than anyone expects. Suddenly, clean water is scarce, waste piles up, and simple tasks like heating your home become nightmarishly complicated. This is the reality that separates casual preparedness from true readiness, and it's only the beginning of the story. When the lights go out, the real challenge isn't just survival, it's trust. Neighbors who once waved hello now seem like strangers, and the social fabric that holds communities together starts fraying fast. People panic, misinformation spreads, and the smallest misunderstanding can escalate into chaos. Preppers understand that a strong community is a survival tool, but when that collapses, even the most stocked shelter can feel like a lonely island. Rumors and false information move faster than any emergency alert ever could. One wrong message can send a neighborhood into frenzy, making people fight over supplies they didn't even need. The key isn't just having food or water, it's knowing how to stay calm, verify facts, and keep your head while others lose theirs. Those who underestimate this psychological battlefield often find themselves unprepared for the social storm. And then there's the unexpected value of everyday items. Suddenly, a roll of duct tape, batteries, or even toilet paper isn't just convenient, it's priceless. Cash might as well be paperweight. Knowledge of basic trades, first aid, or even simple bartering skills becomes your currency. Understanding the hidden economy of scarcity is what separates someone who survives from someone who struggles, and it's a lesson that gets sharper with every passing hour. The mental toll of an EMP is something most people completely overlook. Anxiety creeps in, sleep becomes a luxury, and desperation starts whispering in every quiet moment. Even the strongest minds can falter when familiar routines vanish overnight. Preppers train not just their hands but their minds, practicing patience, focus, and decision-making under pressure, because knowing how to think clearly can be more valuable than any stockpile of food. Losing the comforts of modern life hits harder than you think. No refrigeration means food spoils faster, no heating or cooling makes every day a struggle, and sanitation issues sneak up in ways you didn't expect. It's a psychological test disguised as an infrastructure problem, forcing people to adapt in real time. Those who've practiced self-discipline, rationing, and improvisation often find a calmness others desperately lack. And here's the kicker: new leaders emerge, and opportunists thrive. Power dynamics shift in hours, not days. Someone who seemed ordinary yesterday suddenly takes charge, while others exploit fear for personal gain. Recognizing patterns, spotting leadership, and understanding human behavior under stress isn't optional, it's essential. Because when society's framework wobbles, the real survival skill isn't strength, it's insight. Most people stock up on canned goods and bottled water, but they forget the quiet killers: medical needs. Daily medications like insulin, heart pills, or dialysis aren't luxuries, they're lifelines. When an EMP hits, supply chains snap and pharmacies empty out in days. This isn't a far-off nightmare, it's a ticking clock for millions who depend on modern medicine to stay alive. True preppers know this and plan redundancies long before disaster strikes. Hospitals are seen as fortresses of safety, but in an EMP scenario, they're some of the first to falter. Backup generators fail after days, medical equipment becomes useless, and doctors face impossible decisions with no tools to help. Imagine walking into an emergency room only to find it darker and quieter than your own home. This is where preparation stops being about comfort and starts being about survival in its rawest form. Then come the preventable diseases and injuries. A small cut can spiral into a life-threatening infection when antibiotics run dry. Poor sanitation breeds outbreaks, and minor accidents carry heavy consequences. Preppers practice first aid, stock critical supplies, and learn basic medical skills not because it's fun, but because it's the difference between life and death when help is no longer coming. And that's just scratching the surface of what's to come. Rebuilding after an EMP isn't like flipping a switch. The scale of damage to infrastructure is staggering, and timelines stretch from weeks to years. Power grids aren't just wires, they're complex ecosystems of transformers, supply chains, and skilled workers. Without immediate support, a nation's recovery crawls, and patience becomes a survival skill. Preppers understand that the aftermath isn't just about making it through the first week, it's about enduring the long haul. Then there's the knowledge gap. In a world where most people rely on Google or YouTube for how-to instructions, very few still know how to build, repair, or improvise without modern tools. The carpenter who can craft without power, the mechanic who can fix engines from scratch, the farmer who can grow food off-grid, these become the new power players. Skills, not titles, rise as the currency of a post-EMP society. And the global impact? It's bigger than people think. Nations that might normally rush to help could be facing their own crises, leaving communities isolated. International trade grinds to a halt, and even small towns feel the ripple effects. Preppers see beyond their own backyard, planning for a reality where self-reliance isn't a choice but a necessity. And as you'll soon see, some scenarios in this list go even deeper than that. By the time you reach scenario number 12, the game has completely changed. This isn't just about blackouts, shortages, or even social collapse, it's about a total shift in how humans interact. Picture communities no longer just struggling to survive but redefining what survival even means. Old rules no longer apply, and the line between security and threat blurs. Preppers who've trained for the unthinkable see this not as chaos but as a test of everything they've built. Here's where it gets wild: communication isn't just down, it's weaponized. Misinformation becomes a tool, alliances crumble overnight, and trust evaporates faster than clean water. This scenario shows how power, knowledge, and adaptability turn into the real currencies. It's not about who stocked the most food anymore but who can lead, who can think, and who can adapt without breaking. That's the hidden layer few people ever consider. And yet, inside this chaos, there's a strange kind of opportunity. People rediscover forgotten skills, form new tribes, and build systems from scratch. It's brutal, yes, but also transformative, like watching a forest regrow after a fire. The ones who understood the bigger picture, beyond gadgets and gear, are the ones who thrive. And this, more than any other scenario, sets the stage for a reality that's even more surprising than you'd expect. When you step back and look at all 12 scenarios together, something becomes clear. This isn't about fear, it's about power, your power to stay ready no matter what. Each scenario strips away the illusion of safety most people live with and shows you the cracks in the system before they break. And if you're still watching, it means you're not just curious, you're the kind of person who refuses to be caught off guard. That's exactly the mindset that separates survivors from victims. The truth is, no one knows which of these scenarios will hit first, or which combination will blindside us. But waiting to see is not an option. Preparation isn't paranoia, it's freedom. It's the ability to look at chaos and know you've already built your safety net. And this channel exists to make sure you're armed not just with tools but with the knowledge that can't be taken from you. So if you found even one scenario here that opened your eyes, now's the time to act. Subscribe, share this video with someone who still thinks it'll never happen here, and check the link in the comments for resources that go beyond theory. Start building, start planning, and start leading, because the future doesn't belong to those who wait. It belongs to those who prepare.